You're never going to get my power.
Do I look like I need your power?
Into the Sonicverse. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is here, and we're guessing it's going to make fans of the first movie and the game's canon very happy. Directed by Jeff Fowler, this speedy sequel pushes Sonic's story of family and friendship forward at supersonic speeds, but it also sets up a super ambitious focus for the next chapter of everybody's favorite Speedy Chili Dog fans narrative. We'll break all that down, plus what this all means for Sonic 3, assuming that there will indeed be a Sonic 3. But before we get into any of that, I have to warn you, we're about to spoil this entire movie right now, so if you haven't seen it yet, or you just don't want to know, now would be a good time to stretch your legs and take a nice little jog while we sort this all out.
This is what we're gonna do. Step 1, light taunting. Step 2, I have no idea.
Okay, now that we're past the spoiler warning, let's get right to that post-credit scene. Well, it's more of a mid-credit scene, but that's not what you all search for now, is it? Gun agents reveal that while they can't confirm Robotnik's whereabouts after the explosive ending, which we will get to in just a second, they assume he's dead. A convenient out for Jim Carrey if he so chooses to stop acting or whatever, but the gun agents have traced Robotnik's files and made a discovery. He was working on something very interesting. A secret lab is shown containing a chamber with a sleeping hedgehog inside. A black and red hedgehog. It's him! He's here! Shadow the Hedgehog! Okay, here's why that's important, and then we'll get back to the movie. Shadow, of course, we know from 2005's Shadow the Hedgehog, created by Robotnik's grandfather Gerald 50 years in the past when he tried to create the ultimate life form to master the Chaos Emeralds. His purpose was part of Gerald's plan to cure his granddaughter Maria Robotnik of her terminal illness. Shadow has a caring, protective bond with Maria, who was killed right before his eyes when Gunn deemed Shadow too dangerous and captured him, throwing him in stasis until modern-day Dr. Eggman released him. Shadow is depicted as having amnesia in his game, but in other entries is depicted as more dark to Sonic's light, a sometimes rival to the Blue Blur with an anti-hero vibe. I mean, he has weapons, including a gun, which may not happen again with all the tasers present in Sonic 2. Anyway, Shadow is purpose-driven, somewhat cold and pretty misanthropic, and really only ever cared about Maria and is motivated by her. He's at times wanted to destroy the world to avenge Maria and protected humanity expressly in her honor. Guess he does whatever and says Maria would want it this way. Shadow can match Sonic's speed and is pretty much his equal in skill as well, though he's less inclined toward teamwork. Anyway, we'll get more into Shadow's whole deal in a few minutes, along with what we think his inclusion will mean for the totally inevitable Sonic 3, but first, let's talk about that ending.
Sonic! Return to sender!
Here's the quick recap. Robotnik, having, of course, betrayed Knuckles, absorbs the Master Emerald, which has the combined power of all the Chaos Emeralds, into his body, transforming him into a multi-voiced, scarily powerful, almost omnipotent being, capable of turning his thoughts into reality. As we all know, his thoughts are all terrifying and egotistical, and the fate of the Earth and probably beyond is now on the line. When confronted by the authorities outside the coffee shop, he begins using his ridiculous power to draw in metal and reform it into an enormous, high-tech, mustachioed killer robot, which he controls by floating in the space inside its head. It's absolutely deadly, complete with lasers, missiles, and a control station for Agent Stone, which Robotnik also uses. First Green Hills, then the world!
Well, first he's got to get even. Every supervillain has to get even to begin with. And so vengeance is number one. Number two, of course, total world domination and the enslavement of mankind. That's one of his items on the bucket list.
Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic join forces to defeat Robotnik, forming a plan as they go. Sonic decides to be the bait since Robotnik hates him so much, leaving Tails and Knuckles free to sneak attack Robotnik and knock the Master Emerald free, ending his godlike power. Sonic's idea works, but he gets hurt in the process and he limps desperately toward the fallen emerald. James Marsden's Tom and Tika Sumpter's Maddie rush to save Sonic from getting crushed by Robotnik's giant robot feet. Remember, he may have lost the emerald, but he still controls the Deathbot. Sonic hopes the Master Emerald can save them, but it crumbles in his hands, Chaos Emeralds spilling out everywhere, leaving him feeling utterly defeated. Tom, Maddie, and Sonic can't get away and are sure to be crushed. They hold hands Toy Story 3 style, accepting their shared fate as a family, when all of a sudden, cue Kelly Clarkson's A Moment Like This, because it's Sonic's moment to go supersonic. The crowd went wild at my screening for this. How was yours? Sonic reaches his super state, which is a huge fixture throughout the games, to save his friends and family in the nick of time. Supersonic flies up and slices the top of the giant robot's head open, leaving only Robotnik in the middle, sheepishly asking for a truce to their fight, saying there were good people on both sides, which is topical. And Supersonic speeds around at a new level before lightly kicking the giant robot, knocking Robotnik from the extreme height into the rubble below. He isn't seen again, and it's not clear what happened to him, but his crony, Agent Stone, is spotted in a gun uniform, blending in with his surroundings. As a very badass looking Supersonic floats back down to the earth, victorious and silent, Knuckles warns Tom and Maddie to not touch him because he is no longer the Sonic they once knew, but an ultra-powerful being who summons chili dogs. Never mind, okay, he's still the same Sonic. Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic form a new tribe to protect the Earth and keep the Master Emerald out of evil hands, which Knuckles was, by the way, able to restore to its original form. Later, Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Tom, and Maddie play baseball together at the field where Sonic was feeling so lonely in the first movie. It's so sweet. And that's the end of the movie, at least until the Shadow mid-credits scene. This ending provides a nice amount of closure to the story arc about Sonic feeling all alone in the world, friendless and doomed to isolation. He accepts Tom and Maddie as his adopted parents, becomes like a big brother / bestie to Tails, who also mentioned feeling like an outcast, and forges a friendship with Knuckles, another loner who is really a beginner at anything.
He's a character that is sort of void of warm and fuzzy. He's not a warm and fuzzy guy. He's very dry and straight to the point. And in the movie, he, his down there, his sole purpose is to go after Sonic. There's no gray area with him. He doesn't understand lying. He doesn't understand the dishonor, as you say, but he also doesn't understand humor. He doesn't really understand emotion. He just understands brute force.
This is pretty much the formation of Team Sonic, with all 3 of the founding members present. And this all leads to a Sonic 3, right? Of course it does. There are several revelations in this movie. The existence of emeralds, gun, Supersonic, the Mean Bean coffee shop based on Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean machine, puzzle game, and Shadow. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Shadow the Hedgehog was created by Robotnik's grandfather in an attempt to create a being that could handle all those dang Chaos Emeralds. The same Chaos Emeralds Sonic and friends are now in charge of. I sense conflict. In Sonic Adventure 2, Eggman revives Shadow and uses him to enact his nefarious plans of world domination and get revenge on Sonic. Of course. Shadow actually frames Sonic for crimes and can reach a super state too, albeit he doesn't handle it as well as Sonic. Not to be too spoilery, but Shadow eventually decides to side with Sonic and stop destroying humanity. Good for him. Sonic 3 may likely follow beats from Sonic Adventure 2 on this note, given this game marks Shadow's first appearance and that he was not the main character in this game, which makes sense because Sonic is the star. We're probably not going to get that far away from mainline Sonic in any wide-release film, mind you. The game focuses on Eggman gaining control of Shadow and a Chaos Emerald-powered planet-wrecking cannon against Sonic and friends. Some of those friends include Rouge and Amy. Could they be introduced, or would the movie opt to keep things less complicated and stick with only Knuckles and Tails v Shadow? We'll find out as we hear more about the next Sonic films. But what did you think of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and how will the introduction of Shadow affect the third movie? Is Robotnik really dead? And who would you cast as Shadow's voice actor? I say Keanu Reeves. Let's hear your best theories for all of this in the comments below. Anyway, thanks for watching this episode of Canon Fodder, and for more Sonic, check out our full review, and don't forget to follow and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.